Hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Joe the Panther, Panther. And man, this gentleman was on the podcast before, and he gave us that boost of a firework into the atmosphere. But now, this gentleman's back. And I heard the doorbell ring, and I'm like, who could it be? Looked at the peephole. I see the beard. I see the hair. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to the last great manager, Chad Epik. Welcome back, Chad. Welcome.
You'll get it right one of this time. It's professional wrestling's last great manager.
Yes, I know. One day. And I meet you in person, and I still can't get the name right.
One of these days. I don't have hope for you, but it might happen.
Yeah, I know. So, Chad, what have you been up to since the last time we were hanging out?
When was the last time we talked? 2 years ago now that you just forgot about me after I boosted the show up to international levels?
Yeah, I know. I've thought about you since we bumped into each other in Brooklyn. That was the last
time. At Warriors of Wrestling?
Yes, at Warriors.
Great show up that way.
Oh, and it's funny. I think I had a crazier reaction than you did.
It took me a second to realize who was staring at me. I won't lie. I have a lot going on in my head at all times, running shows, helping other people run shows, working on different business ventures.
I think you kind of went blind because I didn't have a hat on that day, so you probably were like,
that might have been it.
It was like you accidentally ate too much CBD that day. My God, his head is so so much shinier in person.
No, I think that without any intoxicating elements.
It's like
the trick is just never sleeping. 15 minutes a night. That's all you need.
My rule is tell the girls don't stare directly at my head. You may get entranced by the shininess. It's like
you need a tattoo of the Hypnotoad on it.
Yes. I felt that craziness a few weeks ago when I had a female wrestler on the podcast, and I accidentally stared directly into her hand, and I don't remember anything after that. I know the show ended and the screen went black. That's all I remember. I was staring at
the toad on her hand there,
No, she had an eyeball. Oh, dang it. That's all I remember. All I see is a half an eye, and then everything went black. And hours later, I'm just sitting at my computer still staring, and I woke up like...
Have you checked your bank account recently?
Yes, everything was there. It's just all I remember hearing is haha, and then everything went black. And I'm sitting at my computer at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it says end, and she's gone. I was like, did we actually record? And then I saw it said everything, all the video was there.
Before you put it up, you need to put a warning on for people,
Yeah,
there are very weak-minded individuals in this world, obviously.
That Aunt Annie, girl, again, you got to have you back on the podcast, but I'm scared the next time I may not remember, and we will still be recording 2 weeks later.
Don't worry, he'll have you on in about 2 more years.
Yeah, I'm scared. That next time, I think I won't know, and the video will still be recording.
You need special glasses. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna need black glasses that time, so she doesn't. My bank account would be, and my mom will be coming down. Why are you still staring at your computer? You have to work today. I don't remember. So, Chad, is there any shows you've been doing lately, or
I have been traveling pretty much everywhere this side of the Mississippi. Some shows I've been working backstage in front of the camera. I've been helping out, been doing a kind of a consultant type job, helping people keep their backstage in order, keeping the matches on time, directing the workers where they need to be, when they need to be there.
So last time you had some crazy stories from your encounters with wrestlers and the deathmatch scene. Is there any new stories that you have for us today?
Oh, see, that's the thing. I got to remember what I said last time because that was so long ago and my memory is just horrid. I mean, I know I've been working. I actually had the privilege of being at the ECW arena since we've last talked a few times now. Been working at a little bit of a higher profile promotions behind the scenes, helping out with them. Of course, still doing my local stuff, but trying to get out of New England more. I tell
Yeah, I remember
everyone
last.
you need to get out of your bubble.
Yeah,
You're not going
that's
to
one of
improve or get better if you stay in that bubble.
yeah, the last time I remember you spoke with us was when you were leaving a death match show. You were in a car with your wrestler and he was still bleeding and the cop stopped you and said he looked in the back seat of the car and there was barbed wire and baseball bats and he just went, just go.
Yeah, no, I usually those situations are best met with humor. Hopefully you get a guy who actually has a sense of humor because sometimes they aren't very appreciative about it, you know?
I remember I told my dad that, and my dad's former law enforcement. He said, literally, I think I would have not sent him gone. He would have asked him, "So, what are you doing tonight?" That's
The
all.
response would have been sarcastic. And depending on the sense of humor, I would have gotten a laugh out of it or in cuffs.
Yeah,
Both
my
situations
dad's
have
funny.
happened.
Yeah, my dad's a goofy guy, but he looks like Mr. Serious. He has he's Daddy Panther, so he has the bigger mustache, the cop mustache.
Oh, okay. So he's the
And he
serious, no nonsense beat cop.
Yeah, he looks like it, but he's funny. So he would have been like, "Ha, you can go now." Like the cop from Dumb and Dumber when he accidentally zips the piss. That's my dad. Get the hell out of here. Like,
That's ew. That doesn't sound fun at all.
no,
But
it
no,
doesn't.
I mean, I know you've been doing your thing with dudes and what is the other one? Twins. So
Yeah,
trying to, keep up the tradition.
yeah.
Doing a lot. Like I'm usually doing about 3 to 4 shows a weekend now.
Wow.
I'm either selling merchandise, I'm on the show, I'm behind the scenes. I'll have a walkie-talkie telling, trying to make sure the show ends when it's supposed to.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
need to be pretty much multifaceted in this business if you want to have longevity. You can't just, stick to one job and think that's going to get you all the way through.
Chad, you hit the nail right on the head. Like with the wrestling business, you just can't sit in your one area and expect to expand yourself to like being from known halfway across the globe or halfway across the country, sitting in one area. Like me, I saw the chance to go to Brooklyn because my sister Sassy Chica's that's her location. I saw it. I saw the Sassy's like, "How far away is it?" So I sent her the address, and she was like, "Joe, this is totally closer than you think." So I was like, "Okay." I've never heard of Warriors of Wrestling. Never heard of any of the wrestlers. So I just was like,
You've
"Screw
never
it."
heard of Max the Impaler or Sinister Minister?
I knew who that was. That was
Okay.
before they announced that wrestler was going to be on the roster. I just saw the poster and they didn't announce that part yet. And then I saw Sinister Mister was on the roster and Max, and I was like, jackpot.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Max the Impaler, in my opinion, if they don't get picked up by somebody soon, they're missing out. Max the Impaler is going to be a force to be reckoned with in wrestling within the next few years.
how come you have not jumped on that managing bandwagon of Max yet?
How can I replace Sinister Minister?
He could be the other guy.
When you have Sinister Minister, James Mitchell, you don't need another guy. I
Mm,
sat under the learning tree of James Mitchell. He was throwing a seminar. That was my reason for going up there, and I damn right I wasn't going to miss that. The dude has multiple decades of knowledge in this business. And it doesn't matter how long you've been in this business. If you have an opportunity like that, you take it. There's always something new to learn, something you don't know about.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what field you're in. What's the old saying? A master of what? Master of none.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades, but master of none. Everyone always forgets the second part. I'd rather have, the rest, right? I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah. Like when I saw him in person, I was just like, he walked by me, saw my glasses, and he kind of laughed and smirked because he saw my mustache, he saw my red glasses, my blue coat, and he was just like, ha, hmm. And he
Yeah, I
didn't even
made
say. He just
sure
went,
not to wear the red suit that night.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would have won up the man, the myth, the
Yeah,
legend.
no. It's
No
one of
need.
those things. If James Mitchell's on the show, don't be wearing red. unless you're
saw the
associated
guests. He
with them.
laughed. He went, and I was like,
Yeah, you weren't there to work the show, so it's one of those things that it's a respect thing.
yeah. And it's funny. I almost went with a red jacket instead of a blue coat because that was a Christmas present.
He could
And
have
my mom's
stolen it
like,
from you.
blue, because I'm like blue or red, and I was like, I don't know. And she's like, I'm gonna get you the blue one because it's shiny, and people like shiny things like cats.
That is 100%. I have a bunch of shiny coats and it distracts people, and I'm able to, pick up the win for my clientele, the people that I'm managing, because their other opponent, the opponent isn't, let's say, all there in the head.
Mm. So, like, is there any other place in the country or you said you're traveling, but like, have you ever thought of going like the UK or like to
The
Italy?
UK, I would love to travel over there. I'm actually this year, possibly in the next, I would have to say year, I actually am going to be heading to Turkey.
Oh,
I'll be heading up that area. I'm heading back to Canada in July.
mm.
And at the moment, currently working on a deal to hopefully by the end of 2024 be over in Japan for a small tour.
Oh wow, Chad, man, that's I all the send you all the good vibes, and I'm so proud of you, dude. You're breaking out, man. You're hitting that spot. There's a promotion in England that put this on your list. They're called Coventry Pro Wrestling.
Coventry Pro. I think I actually might know them, but just
CPW.
in case.
Yes, they have a hardcore deathmatch wrestler named Tomby. That holy crap, the dude literally he made a TikTok video and he did a sword. You know how they use the lights the light tubes?
Yeah,
He made a sword out of it
that
with like
sounds about right.
what's that?
That sounds about right. I actually think I know who that is.
Yeah, he's a tattoo artist and wrestler. Yep, Tomby.
Trying to look it up if he's been pretty sure that I've seen what's his name over there? Joe. Big Joe over there.
Yes, I know Big Joe. Yeah. Well, Tomby is one that you have to keep an eye on because he's a big deathmatch wrestler. Everybody knows Tomby. Like he's like a zombie. Oh god, zombie deathmatch wrestler. Oh my god, Tomby.
See, what they need is someone needs to invest and do. Let's just get wrestlers from all across the globe, a one-day tournament to see who is the actual world deathmatch champion.
Man, whoever's watching this podcast, if you want to keep your deathmatch fresh, hand it
I mean,
to
you need new people. I do have, I've told people about this before, Rated R Wrestling, which is my deathmatch promotion. It's a kind of a mixed bag of everything, comedy, wrestling, high flying, lucha libre, British style, whatever you want, it's there. Our main event is always a deathmatch. Unless, I mean, there was my little foobar I had. I fully admit that I screwed up on one of my deathmatch shows because I just did it wrong. But there's an idea that's been floating around in my head. It's a tournament, 8 men or 8 participants, single elimination. Every single participant has been involved in a deathmatch tournament, a serious deathmatch tournament. These are all new people trying to break in that you might have not heard of.
Well, there's a promotion in Canada, the UK. Another one that you need to put on is TNT. They're like
I know TNT.
Yes, there's a lot of good wrestlers that are in TNT that are deathmatch that would definitely get tossed in that tournament. Oh my
see,
god!
it's not even, it's guys who've never been. If I was going to run a world deathmatch tournament, I would have one from North America, South America, Africa. I would grab one from Europe, one from Asia, one from Australia. That would leave us, room. Obviously, I don't think there's any deathmatch wrestling in Antarctica.
We
would have 2 open slots. I would probably grab someone from Japan.
There's a lot there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're doing a world, there's only one guy you would have to grab anyway. That's Jun Kasai from Japan. Yeah. I mean, that would be my top pick from that country.
So we were talking before we go on live. Is there any like stuff that whenever you go to a location you collect? You want to talk about that this morning?
You mean like if I travel or when I travel?
Yeah, like anywhere you travel, do you collect anything?
I do. I actually, when I'm on the road, I collect the rubber duckies you get at truck stops.
Oh, so how many
The
do you
claw
have?
games.
What was it?
Most truck stops have a claw game that have like little rubber duckies in them. You spend
Mm.
$1, you play till you win. I think I have from this side of the Mississippi, I have a duck from every single state.
Huh. Wow.
So when I go up to Canada, I will every province I hit up there, I will be getting. Hopefully, they have truck stops with ducks. It's been a while since I've been up there, so probably about 8 years.
Mm.
So I hope to get a duck when I'm up there. When I travel overseas, I want to get a rubber ducky from over there too.
Mm.
Like if you see my giant tank of a car, it has a bunch of rubber duckies like all on the front window.
Oh, there's a female wrestler that I definitely would like to see you manage if you did a death match and she would join the tournament. Is Alfie?
Alfie, where's she from?
UK.
UK?
Yes, she does a lot of. She is the girl, the female wrestler that if Coventry's doing a hardcore match, they toss her in it every time. That's if they want you to face like Shorty versus like who is Shorty gonna fight if they're in a hardcore match? Alfie. It's like,
I know, like deathmatch scene right now. Our biggest company in this area is, of course, it's GCW, but they've been slowly, from the looks of it, getting away from the deathmatch scene.
really?
Yeah, they haven't really. They used to run strictly deathmatch shows. Now it's sparingly here or there.
Mm.
I know they have their big tournament of survival coming up. By the time this airs, I believe it will already happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
CZW has pretty much gotten out of the deathmatch game.
That's crazy.
It
That's insane.
If you're running a show with strictly only, and now if you saw a show and every match had the same exact pinfall, the same exact moveset, the same exact style of wrestling, every single match for 8 or 9 matches, are you going to want to continue to invest in that company?
Mm-mm.
It's going to get boring and repetitive, right?
Yeah, totally. I'll be like, gotta go. I see something else in the horizon.
Yeah,
Gotta
people,
go.
it's this generation right now, I call the TikTok generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 60 seconds to 30 seconds that you have to get someone's attention. If you can't do that within that time period, they're not going to give a damn what you have to say or do.
Yep. That's why I decided to do my podcast shorter now instead of
Yep.
going live and like wasting people's times because no one's gonna want to watch an hour show.
Yeah, I mean, the people are going to watch it if it's someone like, that actually knows me in this side of the States.
Yeah.
Or someone who might be interested in bringing me in. They're going to say, oh, well, what is this kid's all about? We're going to listen to what he has to say. I mean, also, a lot of my haters like listening to what I have to say, which I say hi to them, I'm still living rent-free up there.
Yep. Still got that apartment up there that they don't know about.
Oh, no, they know about it. I'm just not paying for it. I don't think about them. I have adopted in the last few years I'm not against competing with anyone but myself philosophy. It's God willing that Aries allows me to, Hermes allows me to make money and still travel safely.
Yep.
That I'm able to do what I love and I get paid to do it. And I'm able to make my bills with it.
Yeah.
You don't worry about what other people do anymore.
Yeah, you can't worry what anybody else does. You just got to do you, and that's why I'm continuing on. I do my thing, and I'm having fun. So, Chad, if there's anybody that is just getting started with their wrestling and they're feeling down on themselves and they don't think they're doing the right thing, what kind of advice would you give them to keep themselves into staying in the wrestling world?
I mean, keep at it. It sounds simple because you can't do this for anybody else. You have to do it for yourself. It's people say, oh, I sacrificed this for wrestling. You haven't sacrificed shit for wrestling. Not a single person on this planet has ever sacrificed anything for wrestling. I've always been against that. Oh, you didn't sacrifice. You made a choice. Wrestling is the choice. If you want to do this full time and make this a career, you need to make the choice that this is going to be your everything. Wrestling is going to move on with or without you. You're not sacrificing time with family or this or that. You're choosing wrestling over everything else. If right now listening to this or even hearing this that you can't make that commitment, that wrestling isn't going to be your top priority, then you are not going to make it in this business. Wrestling will take everything from you. Your time, your energy, your money, your blood, your sweat, and your tears, and it will owe you nothing in return. Now, that's not being cynical. That's not trying to bring anyone down. That's just the fact of it is. You think Olympic athletes make millions of dollars after they win a gold medal? Why do you think you see so many gold medals being for sale at pawn shops and on eBay, authentic gold medals? They did it because they wanted to. They didn't sacrifice anything for it. They chose, this is what I want to do. I'm a manager, I'm a commentator, I'm a ring announcer. On TV, how many major companies have that role open at any given time? How many wrestlers are the top dog in wrestling? It's, you have to, I see so many people, they imitate someone else. I don't want to see another Ric Flair. I don't want to see another Brody. I don't want to see another CM Punk, another Stone Cold, a Christian. We've seen that. Everyone will look at you if you're coming down to the ring with dyed blonde hair and a robe with your boots, your lettering on your boots. We've seen that 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. If you're not doing anything different to catch someone's eye, then you're not doing anything.
Yep.
Family and friends are going to support you, hopefully. But what are you doing to actually stand out?
Yeah. You got that. You're so right, Chad. And I 100%. Like, for me, I learned about wrestling through my family legacy. And then during the pandemic, I found out I had 2 other cousins that are wrestlers. And knowing that I'll never step through the ropes, but I know this podcasting by telling wrestlers and managers and owners that my grandfather did this business in Vince McMahon's dad's era, when it was hard to even think about a Spanish pro wrestler that was with the active roster, hanging out with them and bumping elbows with the Brunos and the Haystacks and the Killer Kowalskis.
You should try and track down some footage.
It's hard, Chad. It's hard because back in those eras, it's hard to find footage.
Oh, of course. If you send me the name and like the eras or maybe some of the area, I could probably
when we're
track some
done
stuff
filming,
down.
I'll show you the T-shirt. I have a T-shirt of my grandfather. So
yeah, send me all that stuff, and I can talk to a few people I know who are actually a lot more knowledgeable when it comes to historic stuff than I am, that might be able to track something down, especially if it was in the WWF days.
Yeah, it was. He wrestled in that era.
Yeah. If you send me all that stuff afterwards, I probably can track something down.
All right. My dad would
I
cry.
like doing stuff like that. It's
my
fun.
Panther would be in tears because he used to watch it on TV, like actively on TV. So, Chad, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I so appreciate it, dude. In the future, I'll have you come on Twins with Sassy. I'm Joe Panther III.
And as always, I am professional wrestling's last great manager, the platinum tongue pugilist, the grand baron of articulation, the capitalistic carny, the paragon of self-promotion, Mr. Always Putting Myself Over, greatness himself, Mr. Chad Epik. And this has been the best edition of Dudes at Ringside podcast.
Good night.